Good morning, students. Welcome back to your English class. Children, today we shall do our 27th lesson, that is the legend of marathon. Children, is legend means popular, very well known, famous story. Okay, so here there is an old famous story of marathon. Children, there used to be various sporting events. So, marathon is also a sporting event. It is a running race of about 42 kilometers. Children, you might have seen there used to be running race for short distance, but when we talk about marathon, it's a running race of about 42 kilometers. The word marathon also means a task or event that lasts a long time and requires a lot of effort and patience. Children, as it is a race of about 42 kilometers, so here, children, it continues for a long time and it requires lot of effort and patience. In between, you cannot stop. You can't say that I don't want to do. You have to take a lot of effort and you should have patience to continue your run. The first marathon race was organized at the time of the first Olympic Games, which were held in Greece. Children, Greece is name of a country, and you might have heard about the Olympic Games. Children, there used to be various sports competition in the world, like Cricket World Cup, Football World Cup, Commonwealth Game, Asian Games. So here, Olympic Games are also one of the competitions, sporting competitions used to be organized. Okay, every 5 years. So first marathon race was organized at the time of the first Olympic Games. And children, Greece is a country which started the Olympic Games. The marathon was started in the memory of a legendary Greek hero, Pheidippides, who had carried an important message from the Battle of Marathon to Athens. Children, this marathon race was started in the memory of whom? A legendary, means very popular, well known Greek hero, Pheidippides. And why did he become so famous and well known, children? Because he had carried an important message from the Battle of Marathon to Athens. Marathon and Athens, children, name of the places, okay, in Greece. And there is a story of his famous run from Marathon to Athens. We do not have the proof whether the story is historically accurate or true or not, but this story has inspired many generations of sportsmen. Now let's see the story, children, here. About 2500 years ago, Persia was a mighty kingdom. Their large army had landed in the bay near the town of Marathon. Their target was Athens, a city state in Greece. Athens had a small army compared to the Persian one, but the Athenian soldiers were very brave. They had faced the Persians before, but they needed help from other Greek kingdoms now. They decided to send a special messenger to the neighboring kingdom of Sparta. His name was Pheidippides. Children, this is a story which took place about 2500 500 years ago. This means very old story, children, it is. At that time, Persia was a mighty kingdom. Children, uh, Persia's new name is Iran. We call it Iran in today's time. Okay, so Persia was a mighty means very great and impressive power or strength. So at that time, Persia was a very powerful and great kingdom. Their large army had landed in the bay near the town of Marathon. Where their army landed, children? In the bay near the town of Marathon. And what was their target? Their target was Athens. Okay, and Athens was one of the city-state in Greece. Compared to Persian, Athens had a small army, but Athenian soldiers were very brave. They had faced the Persians before also, but at that time they needed help from other Greek kingdoms also. They decided to send a special messenger to the neighboring kingdom of Sparta. And to whom did they send, children? Pheidippides. Pheidippides was a young man who served as a day-long runner. Children, Pheidippides was a young man and he used to serve as a day-long runner. Children, nowadays we have facilities of communication and transportation, but previously when these facilities were not there, people themselves were carrying the messages from place to place. Even they were using animals to go from one place to the next place, and they were passing on the messages. So Pheidippides, children, he ran to Sparta like the wind. He ran so fast that his run is compared with the wind. He covered the distance of nearly 100 kilometers in a day. Children, he ran so fast that he covered the distance of nearly 100 kilometers in a day. But alas, very sad, the people of Sparta were busy with some ceremonies. Children, when Pheidippides reached to Sparta, he came to know that the people of Sparta were busy with some ceremonies. Children, ceremonies means an occasion which is grand and includes rituals. So they were busy in doing their grand rituals. Okay, they did not want to join the battle immediately. Pheidippides took this message back to Athens with a heavy heart but on light feet. Children, again Pheidippides took back this message to Athens with a heavy heart. Heavy heart means, children, with sadness. Okay, but on light feet means very fast he was running, children, though he was sad. Again he ran 100 kilometers within a day when he came back to Athens. When the generals of Athens heard the cold Spartan response, they did not lose heart. They were ready to fight on their own. The Persian army was watching Athens like a cat watches a mouse hole. So they decided to launch a surprise attack on the Persians. The Athenian generals sent their flanks round the Persian forces like speeding arrows and began to draw them in. The Persians were not ready for battle. Children, when Athenian generals heard the cold Spartan response, means Spartans were not ready to join the battle immediately, but they did not lose their heart. They did not give up. Okay, they were ready to fight on their own. And at that time, children, Persian army was watching Athens like a cat watches a mouse hole. Means they were thinking as soon as these Athenian soldiers would come forward, we will attack on them. So Athenian generals decided to launch a surprise attack. So start a surprise attack. Launch means children start a surprise attack on the Persians. The Athenian generals sent their flanks round the Persian forces like speeding arrows and began to draw them in. Here, children, Athenian general, what did they do? They sent their flanks. Flanks means side formation of an army. So they sent their side formation of their armies, and they were speeding their arrows and they were drawing the Persian soldiers in, and the Persian soldiers were not ready for the battle. Even so, they were skilled archers. They showered arrows on the soldiers of Athens, but the arrows simply fell off their helmets and strong armors. Also, the Athenians knew their seashore well. The Persians were new to the terrain. Many of them were killed, many more were injured, some of them were lost in the marshy areas. The brave Athenians drove back every single remaining Persian soldier back to their ship anchored in the bay. The battle was over within a few hours. Children, Persians were skilled archers. Archers means uh, people who shoot with bow and arrows. People who shoot with bow and arrows. So Persians were knowing how to use bow and arrow, and they were shooting arrows. Okay, they were shooting arrows. They were skilled in that, but their arrows were simply fell off their helmets and strong armors. Strong armor means children, strong metal covering formerly worn to protect the body in the battle. You can see in the picture, children, the soldiers they have worn the armors which is protecting their body. Okay. Also, the Athenians knew their seashore well. Athenians were knowing their seashore, children, and Persians were new to the terrain, to the area. Terrain means children land. Okay, and many Persians were killed, many were injured, and some of them were lost in the marshy areas. Okay. The brave Athenians drove back every single Persian soldier back to their ship, which was anchored in the bay. Anchored means children, a ship held firmly in a particular place by a heavy device. Okay, a ship held firmly in a particular place by a heavy device. Children. So here Persian soldiers went back to their ships which was anchored in the bay. The battle was over within few hours. The battle was over, but the Persians did not accept defeat. They saw that the entire army of Athens had rushed to the seashore, leaving the city of Athens far behind. Only the aged people, women, and children were left in the city. The Persians now devised a new plan. The sea route to the city of Athens was much shorter than the land route. The Persians decided to take the sea route and pounce upon Athens from the seaside. Children, here battle was over, but Persians were so mighty and powerful they did not accept their defeat. They saw that the entire army of Athens had come to the seashore, and they left the city of Athens far behind. Only aged people, women, and children were there in the city of Athens. Now, Persian devised a new plan. Devised means children, made a new plan. The sea route to the city of Athens was shorter than the land route. So, the Persians decided to take the sea route and pounced upon Athens from the seaside. They thought that they should take the sea route, which is much shorter than the land route, and they should attack upon Athens from the seaside. What happened next in the story, children will see in the next video. Thank you.